Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2019 Career Mode, episode number 94. We've hit a fantastic landmark. We have $1 million and 1,000 to be exact on our balance. So that's just about as clean as you're going to get. And I'm so pleased that we're somehow going the opposite direction of what I figured would happen this season. I was so worried about the finances, of the risk of going bankrupt. But we are having such a strong, successful season. So many strong finishes. Winning the Giro d'Italia especially has boosted our finances so much. The prize money at the World Tour level and this season has made a massive difference. Just from the Tour de Suisse, we earned $51,000. We are now on to national time trials, so we'll go through a few of those, but we'll skip past some, like Felci, 74. He might be competitive. We'll give him a chance. Gianfranco Felci, ready to set off for the Italian national time trial. The distance is 40 kilometers. It's really long for a time trial. There's certainly longer, but it's up there. And a 74 time trialist, plus 3 today. He's really got nice form, even though it's only a plus 1. So a 77. Resistance at a 74, and he's a decent climber, 71, 72 today, that for the undulating areas he can maintain a pretty good tempo. So we're at a 73 right now, and he's actually conserving some energy, so I think I need to push a bit harder. Let's up this to a 75 and ride that for a little while and see where we're kind of at when it comes to energy. Amazingly, even though he's only a 74, Felci is actually one of the favorites for this race. He is in that likely podium type position, as for whatever reason the Italian riders lack a really strong time trialist. Right now the favorite is Gianni Moscon, and you can't let Moscon win. He is, to me anyway, outside of Nasser Bouhanni, he's the biggest villain in the sport currently. Currently, as in active riders, not retired. Because there are some guys that I consider much greater a villain than either of those two among retired folk. But we won't go there. So Felci now pushing a 76. He's still got some energy to burn. We'll see where he's at with his first time check. 5th place, 38 seconds off the pace. Doesn't surprise me. We did set off just a little bit slow. Valorsi is the quickest. There's Moscon just 3 seconds off his pace. So that knocks me down to 7th place. Trying to look. What is the number on my back? 21. So there's 2 riders behind me. And you can see we're now right about level on energy, but that was an uphill section, so I think I can definitely maintain this 76. We're going to have a bit of downhill coming up. I think I might even be able to push to a 77 at some point as we take the short way through the roundabout. There's the big downhill where we do bank a bit of energy. Okay, 76 all the way through there. We're going to push 77 now. We're up to 4th place, just 47 seconds off the pace, but we're still off the pace. So Valorsi is putting in a heck of a time trial. In fact, Valorsi and Moscon almost on same time, but then it jumps. And I think there's a good chance that I could knock off all 3 of these to get a podium place and maybe get to 3rd. I don't think we're going to save enough time, though, here towards the finish to catch Valorisy or Moscon. That seems pretty hard to do. In fact, look at how that gap's opened, 2:04. Cataldo, but there you go, Cataldo at 1:08, so we're seeing times really open up towards the end. Let's go back down to 76 as we are kind of on the verge here now. 5K. The rest of the favorites just haven't come in yet, but we're getting very close. 2.4K. Energy's a little slight right now. Let's save it. 74. 1K to go. We haven't run out yet. When that heart rate plummets, that's when it's gone. And there it goes. It's gone. It's gone. We've 500 meters short. I thought I was okay. That's going to cost me a little time. 15 seconds behind Valorisy. So a lot of guys actually ran out really early. Caruso still to come. We're looking at guaranteed top 4 now. Damiano, Caruso. 5th place, minute behind. And here's Moscon. He could be winning this thing. He's second. He stays 4 seconds behind. We do move into 3rd, closer to the top 2 than I thought we would get, actually. We made up a lot of time in that last sector compared to the guys around us. We gained half a minute on the front runners and more than that on the other guys. I mean, they lost time through that sequence. We gained. So I think we picked up about 15 seconds on them, so 45 overall, and we would have gained even more if I wouldn't have run out of energy 500 meters from the line. Belgian time trial. Philipson's going to set off first. He's on a -2 race day condition, and he's only a 63 time trialist. The main reason why he is here is to support Evenepoel, who is one of the favorites. He's my best time trialist, but he's also among some countrymen who are very strong in the discipline. Very, very strong. So we're using Philipson to kind of test the waters. Right now he's running at a 76, and it looks like that is a bit too hard. We are running at a bit of a deficit, so we need to back off to a 74 and see how that does. There's a bit of an uphill section before the time check. Dylan Toynes has the best time right now at 44 minutes, 33 seconds. Lambrecht half a minute behind. Similar at the time check, with the gaps kind of just steadily opening towards the end, meaning he was maintaining that pace pretty well. So Philipson hits the climb. Pretty steep, but also relatively short. Not terribly short, actually. This is a bit longer of a climb than I expected in terms of the distance you're covering. As we already go to begin the next one. It's just a little over a kilometer. Love the fan sport for Evenepoel. All right. 43rd, 220 down. It's not the time I'm worried about. It's the effort. And 76 clearly was too hard. A 74 also looking like it might be a bit too hard, as we are well on the back half and have a pretty big deficit. There is some downhill sections, though, and that's kind of the purpose behind this, is to test the waters and figure out whether we regain much of this or not. 7K to go. Downhill or flat from here. We do get a tuck. That does help us gain some back, but we're definitely going to run out before the finish line. So even a 74 is too hard. So Evenepoel, I think we might kind of set off with maybe a 73. That'll stretch the energy a bit further. He's going to ride harder and faster. He's not going to be a 76 at the beginning. So maybe even a 72 is the way to go. And Evenepoel is actually already ready to set. Oh, he's on a -2? Ah, come on. -2 race day condition for Evenepoel. He is an 80 on the time trial. Prologue not a factor as we're over 30K. But the resistance, only a 71. Lost 3 points there. That sucks. It's going to be really, really, really hard to beat Campin' Arts, who's an 82 base time trialist. Okay, we are saving a bit of energy, though the uphill, obviously, is going to take more out of us than a flat terrain. So let's push it back to that 73. Campin' Arts behind us, and he's the only rider left after us. Alright, our advantage over Campin' Arts is our climbing. Of course, that's lost 2 points today as well. So we can gain some time through here. Hence the push to a 75. If I'm not in first place here, though, I don't think we're going to win this.
A new best intermediate marker.
We are so far. It's Campin' Arts that I worry about, though. And, oh my goodness, Campin' Arts is 30 seconds ahead of us. Ouch. Let's stay at the 75. We don't have a deficit. And there is some downhill through here. Maybe 76. Right now, as long as we don't run a deficit, I think we're fine. There's, what, 1, 2 little uphills?
The best time has fallen still further.
Depluce, who is on the same time as I am at the checkpoint, just went to the top of the standings. It looks like we are in for a top 2 as we go to the finish line. Into the lead, 38 seconds better than Depluce. But here comes Campin' Arts, and he beats us by 21 seconds. So he's a solid minute ahead of Depluce. If we didn't have the negative race day condition, I think we could have won that. I think we could have beat Campin' Arts today, but he's still a notch above us. So second place, 2 podiums through 2 national time trials. And there's still a chance to get something somewhere, some point, victory-wise, but that was kind of our best chance. Beating Campin' Arts, though, is the difficult part of that. And we gave it a good shot. Both races so far, close, but not close enough. The big one for me, the U.S. National Time Trials. I have lots of U.S.-based riders. Competition here is okay, but definitely not as good as Belgium. We won last year with James Mather. I actually have him picked as favorite to retain his title, but he doesn't look like the favorite to me, actually. Any one of my 4 riders could place well. I'd say all 4 of them are among the best dozen or so, with no clear front runners. So I'd say any of a dozen riders could possibly win this thing. Now, 76 McNulty is perfectly right in the happy zone. So as Garrison goes to set off, we'll put him right there with him. He's on a +1 race day condition, 75 time trial, 77 prologue. We are using that almost 50-50 mix as it's 18K. McNulty might be the weakest, but he has good resistance of the 4. That 76 is just hanging on, but you do have kind of that downhill swing to the end. Hopefully he doesn't run dry. Barto's almost ready to set off right now. Top time is Kyle Murphy, 23 minutes, 24 seconds. That time will definitely come down. Alright, once Barta sets off, we're going to take a look at where we're at. Alright, so Barta just heading out. He's a 74-74, so he's dead even at 74, but lower resistance. Garrison, 75-77, so he's right about a 76. Lowish resistance. He leads at the first checkpoint so far. Who's in second? Brandon McNulty. 1 second behind. Second checkpoint. McNulty currently leads 11 seconds ahead of Kyle Murphy. And it's his energy we got to keep an eye on. He is just barely at a deficit, but he's cresting right now, and then it's slightly downhill the rest of the way. 1.2, right about 1, kind of averaging about 1 degree. So I think it's going to be just enough to kind of get back to a net even by the finish line. And actually even then some. You can see he could attack the finish line. So it's okay to have that slight deficit. And he leads at the finish by how much? 17 seconds ahead of Kyle Murphy. Almost a 23 flat. Stetna, Ben King, Sepp Kuss, Kyle Murphy, those are all... I don't know if any of those are among the 12 favorites. I think they're among top 20 favorites. So we'll have to kind of keep an eye out. Garrison just passed somebody? Yes, he did. Luke Keogh. Was it Luke? Yes. Okay, energy consumption's good. Garrison's right at that same point where he's at just the slightest net deficit right now. And that's going to even out towards the finish. $1K to go. $99. Into lead 9 seconds ahead of his teammate. Alright, Barta is fourth. 4 seconds off the pace at the first checkpoint. So Taylor Finney came in same time as McNulty. There's Warbase is at 3. So he's just a few seconds off his teammates.
That's a good time. It's looking good, but he must not run out of steam if he wants to pull off a win in this time trial.
Mather 75 on the time trial is good, but he's got a -2 race day condition. Lower resistance. Prologue's only a 71 today. Don't look for him to repeat. I think our best chance right now is probably Garrison, unless Barta can squeeze out a few more seconds over his teammate. Third place, 13 seconds behind. And that's a 1-2-3 for our team so far. That's crazy that we have a 1-2-3. James Mather, just 8th place, 10 seconds off the pace. He's not even wearing the number 1, even though he's the defender. There's 3 guys coming after him, so it's going to be hard to see where exactly we're at. Van Garderen went top. Craddock 1 second behind. Palace is 3 seconds. Garrison 8 seconds down. Those are all the favorites, and we're off their pace slightly at the first check. Second check, gap gets even bigger. Palace 17 seconds ahead. 17 seconds. Holy cow. Corwin on same time as Garrison. Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. Craddock just went faster. Those two running away with it at the second checkpoint. It's still... Barta has gone same time as Finney. He's off the podium now. Palace just went top. We're not going to win this thing because Mather's not going to have a better time. He's 10th, 26 seconds down at the second checkpoint. It looks like we might be in for third place with Ian Garrison. Possibly fourth with McNulty if somebody else doesn't squeeze their way in there. Craddock just went to the top as expected. Fourth, 23 seconds. He gained some time. He came within 2 seconds of Garrison, and that might hold as fourth best. Comes Van Garderen. Ooh, he just went. He might be top. It's either Van Garderen or Craddock. And here is Rosskopf the penultimate rider. He's a little bit off the pace. 7th. And Chad Haga, number 1 jersey. Looks like he won't beat it. 10th. So TJ Van Garderen, or is it Lawson Craddock? Who are they going to give it to? They give it to Van Garderen. Van Garderen takes the win. Craddock 2nd. Powless 3rd. Garrison 4th. Mather 5th. McNulty 8th. And let's see. Garrison, Mather, McNulty. We get top team time, which is awesome. We just missed getting all 4 into the top 10, which was kind of what I predicted, while fearing that we were going to be a little bit off the pace. Barta 11th. he missed it by 4 seconds, actually, but just missed getting all 4. So we got all 4 into that, and I said all 4 were among the dozen best riders or so, and there you are. All 4 in the top 12, which is along my predictions. We did win with James Mather a year ago, but he was on a fitness peak and had a +5 for the time trial. Our best was a +1, and that was Garrison, and he took 4th. Clearly, Van Garderen, Craddock, just a 75, a 74, and just a 72 for Palace. And yet they somehow got that high up. Dang, okay. Those guys probably on fitness peaks. I would imagine, thinking of the names, that they are all targeting the USA Championships. And maybe the road race, not necessarily the time trial. But they're probably on a fitness peak. I would imagine they had a boost to their race day condition. Otherwise, we would have beaten everybody else. Anson's, he's only 21. He's a good one. Roscoff, one of the best. 76 time trial. And then Haga. I think Mather 75 is tied for next best. In Germany, it was Max Schachmann over Jascha Süderlin. The Dutch race went to Wilco Kelderman ahead of Bauke Mollema. In France, Nicolas Brouillard ahead of Erminot and Leclerc. How did he win? Erminot's a decent time trialist. Yeah, okay. And in Spain, Marc Soler took the win. That is going to do it for this episode. Next time out, we're going to hit the road race versions of the National Championships and continue on with our season from there, which approaches the Tour de France just 1 week away now. Our objective for Tour de France is stage wins. I'm adding the objective of point classification, and then I'll do whatever else I can. But that's the primary objectives we're going for. We did not get an invitation to the Tour de France last year, I believe. I think we did the Giro and the Vuelta. The Giro, we went for the points classification, won multiple stages and won the points classification. And then for the Vuelta, we did go for the overall, placing roughly 8th place. Venapool still leads the World Tour rankings by almost 1,000 points right now. And Philipsen is 4th. As a team, the lead not as comfortable as it had become, but it's still up there. We are easily the first to 10,000. And not there yet in Super Prestige, scored differently. But we have a 2,000 point lead over Ducati Quick Step in second. Sky moving up the list now in third, swapping places with Groupama FDJ. And sandwiched in the middle is Bahrain Merida. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. And bye for now.